All right, ready to dive into some SEC football.
Always ready for some SEC action. What do we have?
We're looking at those SEC power rankings.
Okay.
Straight from Sooners Wire.
All right.
Fresh off the press from October 20th, 2024.
Okay, so we're talking week 8.
Week 8. And let me tell you, if you thought you knew who was on top,
Yeah.
think again.
It's week 8, and the SEC is just, it's living up to its name.
Oh, absolutely.
The upsets, the close games, it's enough to give you whiplash.
It's why we're here. We're breaking it all down. The big movers, the surprises,
Right.
the teams that are just leaving fans scratching their heads.
Absolutely.
By the end of this deep dive, you'll be the most informed fan at your tailgate.
Let's do it.
All right, so let's talk top of the SEC.
Yeah.
Sooners Wire's got the Georgia Bulldogs back in the driver's seat.
Yeah, a lot of people counted them out after that early loss to Alabama.
For sure.
But they bounced back.
They did.
And they made a statement, I think, with that win against Texas.
Oh, that was a statement win, for sure.
Yeah.
Shut them down. Their defense was like a brick wall. What was it, 4 turnovers they forced?
4 turnovers, yeah. They choked Texas's momentum before it even got started.
It's a classic case defense wins championships, right?
It really is.
Although, I got to say, their offense wasn't exactly setting the world on fire.
No, not the highest scoring game, but
Right.
sometimes a win's a win, Especially when your defense is playing lights out like that.
Yeah, you'll take those.
Absolutely.
Speaking of offensive powerhouses, though,
Yeah.
LSU,
Oh, yeah.
they are on fire since that opening day upset, against USC.
Right.
They have not looked back.
6 straight wins, including that, demolition of Arkansas.
Oh, it was a beatdown.
And Caden Durham, that freshman, he is the real deal.
He's unbelievable, isn't he? 3 touchdowns,
3 touchdowns.
over 100 rushing yards against Arkansas.
The kid's electric.
He's not just running past defenders, he's running through them.
I know, it's unbelievable.
At this point, who's going to stop him?
Right. That's the big question, right? How do teams adjust? Do they stack the box and force them to throw, or I don't know.
Try to win in a shootout.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. While we ponder that, how about we talk about maybe the hottest team in the SEC right now, though?
Okay.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Oh, they pulled off the upset of the week, for sure.
Against Alabama.
Against Alabama.
Belly.
And it wasn't even close.
It was not even close.
You could just feel that energy shift in the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee, they were trailing at halftime,
Right.
but they came roaring back in the second half.
And how about that? 24-17.
Yeah, what a statement win for the Volunteers.
This Tennessee team, man, they've just got that underdog spirit, They don't back down.
They didn't back down from anything. And Dylan Sampson,
Oh, don't even get me started.
he was unstoppable.
He was like a man possessed out there.
139 rushing yards,
Yeah.
2 touchdowns
Against Alabama.
against that defense.
Yeah. It really makes you wonder, is the tide turning in the SEC? 2 losses in their last 3 games? That's got to rattle them, right?
Yeah, you got to think, it's got to get in their heads a little bit, right?
Right.
Because you got Georgia looking strong. You got LSU on fire. Tennessee's right there with them.
Yeah.
Is this the year somebody finally dethrones the Crimson Tide? I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch, though.
Oh, I'm here for it. Buckle up.
I'm buckled up.
Speaking of, let's talk about the Texas Longhorns.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
A bit of a, how do we say, bumpy transition into the SEC for them.
Yeah, it's got to be tough.
It's culture shock.
It is. Going from top dog in one conference to, just another contender.
It's another fish.
In the deep end,
Especially that loss to Georgia. Ouch with the turnovers.
Brutal. Sooners Wire really called those turnovers out, you know. Said that Texas's offense couldn't get out of their own way.
Yep.
And you can't do that in the SEC.
Can't win giving away free possessions.
Not against a team like Georgia. You got to protect the ball.
And speaking of tough transitions, Oklahoma Sooners.
Oof. Yeah.
They are learning.
Every week, new SEC beast.
A new monster every week.
And, they're learning the hard way.
They are.
Their offensive line especially.
They're playing big time.
Yeah, they're up against that SEC speed and physicality, and they are not keeping up.
Read somewhere that they turned the ball over on 3 straight possessions against South Carolina.
Ouch.
Because of the offensive line.
Yeah, it's like trying to, build a house on sand.
Yeah.
Until they figure that out, it's not going to be pretty.
No. So we've talked top dogs. We've talked teams finding their footing. What about the teams at the bottom of the, trying to claw their way out?
Yeah.
What about them?
Well, you got to start with Auburn, right? Still searching for answers.
Oh, yeah, they are.
That loss to Missouri, that one stings, especially after coming so close the week before.
They've had a rough go of it. Some tough losses.
Yeah, for sure.
But then you've got Mississippi State, kind of quietly,
Quiet
showing
storm.
some signs of life.
They are. Like that team you forget about, until it's too late and they're right there on you.
Yeah.
They kept it close against Texas A&M.
They did.
Almost knocked off Arkansas the week before that.
Almost like they've got, like, a new energy about them this year.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't
Yeah.
they get a new coach or something?
Yeah, Jeff Lebby's calling the shots now.
Okay.
Seems like he's got him playing with some swagger, especially on offense.
I like
You
it.
got to have that confidence,
Especially in the SEC. It's not always where you start, it's how you finish.
No doubt.
And speaking of finishing strong, can't forget about the Ole Miss Rebels.
They had the bye week, right?
They did.
Probably came at a good time after that LSU game.
Oh, yeah.
Got to lick their wounds, come back strong.
Because they got some tough ones coming up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Auburn, Alabama, still on the schedule.
No rest for the weary.
None at all.
While we're on the subject of tough schedules, Texas A&M's been quietly putting together a pretty decent season, wouldn't you say?
They have, yeah. Not flashy or anything.
No.
But they just find ways,
They get it done.
Like that boxer just keeps coming at you, wears you down.
I like
You
it.
can't count him out come playoff time.
And speaking of, how about those Vanderbilt Commodores, huh? Who had that one on their bingo card? That upset against Alabama a couple weeks back.
I know, right? Shocked everybody.
Talk about a team full of surprises. I mean, they did have that. Kind of a, I guess you'd say, closer than expected game against Ball State this week.
Yeah, well, you can't win them all, right?
True. It's the SEC. Anyone can win on any given Saturday.
Exactly. That's what makes it so exciting. And hey, speaking of surprises, how about South Carolina?
They made a statement with that Oklahoma win, didn't they?
They did. Their defense was all over that Oklahoma backfield. 9 sacks. 9.
9 sacks. That's insane.
They find a way to get that offense going. Watch out.
They could be dangerous. Absolutely. All right, before we wrap up, we got to talk about the Florida Gators.
They seem to have found their groove.
They do. After that shaky start, they really turned it around. That win over Kentucky, that was impressive.
It was. Showed a lot of heart.
For sure. They got some big games coming up, though. Georgia and Texas still on the schedule.
Yeah, that'll be a real test for them. See what they're really made of.
Man, 8 weeks in, and the SEC does not disappoint. We had our predictions, but this conference, it's always got something up its sleeve, doesn't it?
Always. Twists and turns every week. That's why we love it.
Absolutely. So who's going to be crowned SEC champion?
Your guess is as good as mine at this point.
It's anyone's game.
Anyone's game. Buckle up, because it's going to be a wild ride to the finish line.
I am buckled up and ready. That's going to do it for us this week. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the SEC Power Rankings. We'll catch you next week with more insights and analysis, maybe even a prediction or two. Who knows? Until then, keep your head on a swivel, because in the SEC, anything can happen.